Los Angeles, California. With 13 million people and over 1,000 emergencies a day, it's often referred to as the local news capital of the world. Video journalists have captured an unbelievable catalog of events.
To see what our members had to endure is very difficult.
This is almost like a movie. It's hard to believe that this was real life.
With our first on-scene heroes' perspectives, this is an insight into their most thrilling moments. In this episode, dangerous dust devils.
This was a crazy little weather phenomenon that happened on camera.
A taco turf war.
One of the vendors gets out a bucket of water and a fire extinguisher and just demolishes all the food on the other streetcar.
And an explosive warehouse fire.
A lot of these buildings are filled with hazardous, toxic materials, and when they go up, there's no stopping it.
On average, over 8,000 police pursuits happen in California every year. Police are highly trained for these situations, but innocent motorists are always at risk during these chases.
I love a good pursuit like anybody, but they're extremely hard to get because you don't want to trail the pursuit. You need them coming past you on camera. It's called a passing shot. That's what we live for. Without that, you don't make a sale. And do you know what that suspect's gonna do? No, you don't.
You could be watching the 5 o'clock news in the firehouse, and you notice that the high-speed chase is now going through your jurisdiction, and all of a sudden you have that heightened sense of awareness that we could end up on that same call in about 5 minutes.
Just north of the famous Studio City in Los Angeles, video journalist Howard is hot on the tail of a dangerous police chase.
So I'd been chasing this thing for a good 45 minutes, and it was just going everywhere I wasn't, and it was getting really frustrating. Finally managed to get one passing shot. That's all I needed.
The outcome of pursuits vary. Usually it depends on if there's a helicopter in the air.
And the helicopter pilot was shouting, TC, 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 traffic collision. So I know he just crashed, and I was 30 seconds away. So I park, I can see there's a whole bunch of crumpled mess in the intersection. There's 2 smoking cars, there's people screaming. There's a bunch of LAPD there trying to get the driver to obey their commands. He's still inside of his smashed up car at this point. There's blood coming down the door. I mean, it was chaos. So I'm trying to follow the screams, trying to find out what's going on. It's people running here, there's people running to help. And then I pan around and I see a young kid on the floor being cradled by his mother. His face is covered in blood.
Anytime there's a high-speed chase, there's always a threat to the public, unfortunately.
At that point, I'd switched into fatherhood mode and saw a kid who'd been hurt by somebody running from the law. Something that could have been avoided, and I was furious.
Incidents that involve children are tougher on the first responders. You know, you do start kind of thinking about your own family.
It hurts. It hurts your heart, and you want to reach out and help the child.
I mean, I was raging inside that innocent kid had nothing to do with anything to do with that suspect. And there he is on the floor being cradled by his mother covered in blood. I mean, looking at how badly damaged those cars are, you'd think there'd be fatalities, but Fortunately, in this case, the mother and son were able to get the medical attention they needed, and luckily, only suffered minor injuries.
The mother and child are taken to hospital with minor injuries caused by this man's thoughtless behavior. California is world famous for its endless sunshine. But when the weather turns, it can be dramatic.
Anytime there's like a weather phenomenon or some kind of like weather story, it's going to get a lot of views.
Weather stories are popular because we have such a wide variety of them. I love chasing weather. It sells for the news really well, and it's fun and exciting.
Yeah, there's a lot of fire through here.
I personally never like filming anything to do with weather because it damages your camera. But this is news gold. Our cameraman, she happened to be in the right place at the right time, so she decided to pull over and she captured all the footage.
It was this massive dust devil that was just making a mess everywhere. A dust devil is just the air that is circling and cycling, and it's picking up everything around it, and they can travel for quite a few miles. Dust devils are sort of like pursuits. They move really quickly. You've got to stay out in front of them, and you want to get it crossing right near you in front of your path.
Clearly a dust storm like this can be dangerous. You never want to get too close to them. For the average person, it's best to stay away from it.
Thankfully, no one was injured and homes weren't damaged, but this was a crazy little weather phenomenon that happened on camera.
Coming up.
Taco turf wars.
One of the vendors gets out a bucket of water and a fire extinguisher and just demolishes all the food on the other street cart.
But first, an explosive warehouse fire.
When they go up, there's no stopping it.
Out-of-control fires happen all too often in Los Angeles, but warehouse fires are especially deadly. The smoke itself can cause serious damage.
I mean, these commercial areas, they have these huge buildings full of manufacturing supplies. You never know when one of these things is going to blow.
That's an accident waiting to happen.
It's just after midnight, and a massive warehouse fire has been called in from Orange County, California. Firefighters have classified it as a Category 3, which means all hands on deck.
That means they're probably requesting every truck company from every surrounding city to try and help fight this fire.
I mean, it was a huge fire. It could be seen from the other side of the city.
This is a very dangerous situation. There's so many hazardous things burning in that building. It's going to take hours for them to put that fire out.
When I'm filming something like this, I like to kind of stay back because a fire of this intensity will often leave the building collapsing. And if it doesn't collapse inwards, it's coming out. And if you're too close, you're in trouble.
When stuff explodes and you capture that on camera, that is the money shot.
The explosion itself was bone rattling. You see that thing just rip, throwing debris up in the air, spinning stuff around, and you could feel it from 100 feet away. Imagine what those firefighters are thinking. They're right on top of that thing.
As the fire becomes increasingly volatile, the firefighters use more specialized equipment.
So to attack a fire like this, you want to go defensive with it. So defensive means that you're going to surround all four sides of that, and you're going to use your larger hose stream to pour copious amounts of water from the outside in. So those large ladder trucks will extend their aerial ladder up and pour water down through the roof.
So a fire of this magnitude is going to burn and burn, like this one did for 2 or 3 hours.
The firefighters were able to combat the blaze, protecting the main structures, and miraculously, no injuries were reported.
Love street meat.
Street vendors are huge in LA. Street vendors and food trucks, super busy. They get a lot of business.
There's a lot of them, and it's a very competitive business is what I've seen.
So competitive that the food stall owners will fight to defend the sidewalk they believe to be prime real estate.
Taco turf wars.
People know what gangs fight over, right? They fight over turf. Well, street vendors are now fighting over turf. It's my street corner. No, it's not. It's mine. Physical fights are getting more and more common, and they're getting more vicious.
They all have basically assigned corners, and if someone intrudes on their space, they're going to defend their territory.
Turf wars over taco meat? I mean, come on.
Southeast of downtown LA and Whittier, one man captures this aggression firsthand.
There was some bad words between 2 street vendors, and it escalated out of control. So you can see one of the vendors gets out a bucket of water and a fire extinguisher and just demolishes all the food on the other street cart.
Oye, amigo, me estás echando a perder la mercancía, mira. ¿Está bien? No, ¿cómo es estar bien? ¿Eh? Te voy a seguir allá.
He starts pouring water on their grill. He's just making it impossible for them to serve their customers.
It takes a long time to prepare that food, make it look nice, and he just comes and ruins it all. I mean, there was nothing left after he'd done that.
Best I can deduce on this would be that the one guy got jealous because the other guy was making more money than he was and got upset, so wanted to dampen his business by putting out his fire.
I don't really understand at what point you think it's a good idea and you go and damage someone else's livelihood. There's plenty of places for everybody. Just leave each other alone. Just get on with it.
With his food ruined, the frustrated vendor uploaded the video to his social media channels, with no way of knowing what would happen next. Coming up. A well-known food truck area in South Whittier, Los Angeles, is the scene of an altercation of 2 street vendors and has resulted in one vendor having all his food ruined.
So this story actually became very, very viral.
Me estás echando a perder la mercancía, mira. ¿Está bien? No, ¿cómo es estar bien? ¿Eh? Te voy a seguir allá.
I actually remember this story really well. It aired on every channel.
We went down and we spoke to that vendor, who's the victim, and gave us the side of the story, what happened. When we reached out to him, he was kind of skeptical about doing anything in the news. I don't know if that's because he was fearing revenge or something like that.
Something happens yesterday about the bad guys. He's come to say, oh, that's my place, you can stay here, you have to get out of here, or I'm gonna throw away everything. And we say, oh, you know what? The city is very big, so that's a sidewalk. It's free for everyone. So I don't want to move. I don't want to move. So the guy is starting to put water in the charcoal. He started with a stinger, putting in the all meat.
The victim that we spoke to was very, very appreciative of what we'd done. We put the news story out, and within a day, there was lines of people down the street waiting to help and support him. Once he realized the support he was getting and the crowds of people that were lining up to try his food afterwards, I think he was happy.
All of the community just going out there, buying food, helping their family, and it was a really nice thing to see.
I mean, it was pretty heartwarming. It really was.
Es increíble el apoyo que nos han dado.
The community spirit shines through. Los Angeles now has the most displaced people of any U.S. city. with over 40,000 living on the streets.
Homeless encampments are very common in Los Angeles. They are popping up anywhere and everywhere that they can actually just have a stable ground and be able to live their life.
These places may seem safe, but have hidden risks.
3 o'clock in the morning, I'm thinking about going home, and all of a sudden a call comes out of a person stuck in a drainage canal in between a freeway. I pull my camera out, I'm focusing down, and I see this woman lying on the concrete floor of a big channel, probably 20 feet down. But I kind of quickly figured out it was actually where people lived.
So when we get a dispatch like this, it's kind of a unique type rescue.
If that person actually did fall 20 feet, they're definitely not going to be walked out of there or carried out of there by a firefighter. In this situation, they have what's called a litter basket, and it's a basket that they lower down in there. They'll take a paramedic down.
The patient could be thoroughly assessed. The patient would then be packaged, placed into the litter with the appropriate webbing and securing straps.
And then lift the litter basket out.
Yeah, I mean, look, a rescue is a rescue. A life is a life. A human being is a human being. The rescuers are going to use all of the resources they possibly can to help someone. That's their job.
I mean, it's pretty amazing that someone actually found her. I've filmed situations like this before where the person hasn't been so lucky. No one heard her, and she would have been there for days.
With the rescue a success, the woman is transported to safety and to be treated for her back injury. Coming up.
A man and his dog were walking on the side of the cliff. He lost his footing and plunged 50 feet down with his dog.
But first,
They always say if you're a bystander and you get involved, you never know what's going to happen.
occasionally, first responders are helped by the members of public who bravely step in. But sometimes that doesn't end up so well for these good Samaritans. It's just after midnight and first responders are on scene investigating a hit and run involving a fire hydrant.
This is definitely an interesting situation kind of unfolding as you watch it. You see a smashed up car, you see a hydrant, you have the water pouring out.
So this story came out. I wasn't too far away from it. I heard of a vehicle versus a fire hydrant. So I thought, I'll go and check it out.
It appears that you have a single vehicle collision, Crown Victoria, that struck a fire hydrant that sheared it, shooting water into the air.
When I arrived on scene, firefighters were already there trying to turn off the fire hydrant that was hit by the vehicle. And then I spotted out the corner of my eye this guy sitting behind the wheel of the car, revving it, putting it into gear, trying to move the Crown Victoria off the sidewalk.
My first thought was that was the driver, but then as things started to progress in this clip, he's obviously not the driver, and he's now being questioned for something else going on.
LAPD arrived on scene and quickly told the man, "What are you doing? Get out of the car," which he did. This guy was a good Samaritan. He saw the crash happen. He got onto his dirt bike and he chased the suspect down the road, but lost him. He came back, got behind the wheel of the car and was trying to move the vehicle.
But the front wheel is off, so it's not going anywhere.
LAPD spoke to the man, got the full story, and then they decided to run the VIN number on the dirt bike that was sitting there with the man. And it came back stolen.
They always say if you're a bystander and you get involved, you never know what's going to happen.
So, the suspect got away. The Good Samaritan, he went to jail for a stolen motorcycle.
No good deed goes unpunished in this city. One hour west of Los Angeles is Point Mugu. This landmark is both admired and feared.
We do a lot of stories in this particular area for rescues. Point Mugu is a very known area for either cars going over the cliff or people going over.
Over 20 years ago when I worked for private ambulance, we used to go to that location a lot.
You always wonder, how do these people survive this? It's very rocky and the ocean's right there.
It's 10 p.m. and a man is in need of a desperate rescue.
So what we have here is a rock rescue on the side of a cliff past Malibu Beach. A man and his dog were walking on the side of the cliff when something happened. He might have lost his footing, but he plunged 50 feet down with his dog.
There's 3 ways to usually rescue an individual off of Mugu Rock. One is hiking down and being able to carry somebody out. The other is a rope rescue, and the third is a helicopter hoist. So the incident commander there in the white helmet decided to do a 2-line litter basket hoist type of an operation. You use your large aerial ladder truck, move that ladder over the target, extend it. You could then have firefighters on the ground be able to medically assess that individual, place that patient into the litter basket, hoist them up to a safe area, bring them on ground where you have awaiting firefighter, paramedics, and an ambulance.
The firefighters strap the injured man in tightly.
Anything rescue on cliffs generally makes the news. The money shot for us is getting the person winched to safety and also, of course, getting the dog smiling on camera.
The man suffers head injuries from the impact of the rock, but was taken to hospital, treated, and expected to make a full recovery.
Firefighters even tended to his canine companion who was uninjured.
Both man and dog are very lucky to be alive.
Though this incident had a happy ending for both, it's a reminder that one false step could end in tragedy.